And if I can link these two proposals that up, if you would like to see them, to Canvas this week. Okay. So as soon as I'm done talking here, I'll put these proposals on there. Okay. So probably the easiest program I would say to make a proposal would be to use InDesign. If I could find InDesign on my, hopefully it's on my computer here. I don't even know if it is. And the reason why, like I said, is resolution independent. It works well with all the other software, Adobe software programs. And if you've never tried InDesign, I highly recommend it. One of the things about InDesign is that you can save a PDF. You can save an interactive PDF. The other thing about InDesign is that it can make an e-publish, where if you've ever looked at on your phone and read a magazine on your phone using the iStore or the iBook in your phone, like my phone has an iBook thing, where you can download an interactive magazine. Most of those interactive magazines are made with InDesign. Okay, so it's a great way of building an app. Okay, it's basically an interactive magazine. That's how Wired Magazine makes their iBook. InDesign is, again, I think I gave you the history of it. Did I give you the history last semester, or was that from Illustrator class? Maybe it was Illustrator class. So the history of InDesign, of course, is, back in the 1980s, there was no InDesign. Okay, back in the 1980s, I used to use a program called Ventura Publisher. Ventura Publisher. And even before that, we were using Linotech machine to print out and cut and paste our text down on boards. Then there was also a very popular one called Quark Express. Okay, and Quark Express was a great program for laying out pages. It worked well with the printers and the printing systems, the Heidelberg press and so on. Quark Express really worked well. Great color management. The downfall, of course, is since Quark was king, they tried to use their power of ours is the best software to charge a lot of money for their software, as well as try and be dominant within the industry, so that you had to buy their software. Of course, and their software costs like $2,000. You had to pay $2,000 just to use it. So they were. So it was a great, kind of a failed, I would say, experiment of a over-dominating software company that tried to charge a lot of money because they were a monopoly, basically. So back in the late 90s and early 2000, Adobe decided to make their own publishing software, and they called it InDesign. Now, in the early days, 2001, 2002 of InDesign didn't work very well. The colors did not come out. Quark was still king, but slowly over time, Adobe began to improve InDesign, and eventually it has taken over where Quark Express was, especially because of digital publishing now. You didn't need to go to a printing press anymore. You can basically print things digitally now with a digital press. And so if you want to go see some digital presses, I'm sure Jean can take you on a field trip. There's one place I used to take the students for a field trip to see digital presses, Almaden Press. Is it Almaden Press? I think it was Almaden Press. Yeah. I had a former student working there, and so we would go over there, and they had old presses, but they never really used them. They usually all just digital printing. So if I was going to make a proposal inside of InDesign, I would start by making a new file by going under File, New, Document. Again, you could make an iBook, okay, or a library. I'm not sure, but I start with a File, New, Document. First thing it's going to ask you is how many pages. Don't worry about the number of pages. You can actually add more as you go along, but I'm going to assume mine is going to have at least 5 pages. The first option here is facing pages. So do you want to have 2 pages next to each other like this? That's what a facing page would be. Because you're looking at this where you have the first page, right? And then when you open pages like this, or do you want single pages? If you want single pages, you can turn that off, and it'll just give you one page at a time. If you leave that on, when you go to page 2 and page 3, they're next to each other like that. It doesn't really matter. I mean, you can print it out one page at a time. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just how you are designing it right here. I'm going to turn it off right now so everything's on one page. Of course, we're going to do letter size 8.5 by 11 so I can print it out. Now, I don't have a color printer yet, ordering one, so we will have a laser color printer in the room so we can print out documents like this. Next thing is columns down here. Do you want one column of text or do you want 2 columns? Think about a newspaper. What the columns are, is if you look here, you would have column here. 1, 2, well, this is almost 1 column here, 1 column there, 2 columns in there. Do you want more than 1 column or 1 column? I'm going to stick with 1 column for right now. You can always add more columns later if you would like, but that's what that is. And then you could have margins. I'm going to leave them default, and when I'm done I hit OK. It gives me a page. You'll notice it has multiple pages. I have a pop-up menu that says pages, and you'll see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. I can jump to each one. Okay, so if I'm going to make a proposal with InDesign, I might start with what we call the master. Right here it says there's a pop-up window called pages, and right there is a master. So I'm going to click on the master right now first, right here. Doing so, then I can lay out my page the way I want it to be. Let's say that my proposal is for a weather app, and I want to have like kind of my logo idea at the top of the page here. So I can go and I'm going to make a little color bar. You have these tools that are over here. These tools just are kind of the same tools that you would have inside of Illustrator or Photoshop. You got rectangle tools, you got cutting tools, you got this one right here, rectangle frame tool, is to bring an image in. I make a frame and then import an image into the frame. You have a gradient tool, you have gradient feather tools, and so on. These are kind of the same tools. Plus you still have a fill color and a stroke color just like you would have inside of Photoshop or even Illustrator. So let's say I want to put a blue bar that goes across the top of my page. I can grab a box and put a blue bar across the page, and I'm going to call it, I can put some text in that box. Now I'm not going to click in the box just like I would inside of Photoshop. I'm going to click outside because I don't want to attach it to it, and I can draw a box for some text, and let's call it weather. How about we call it Raskoff weather app proposal. There we go. Then we could, of course, choose our font that we want and choose a size, choose a color, no, and then put it up there. There we go. Uh-oh. Too big. Okay, so this could be like the top of my page. If I want to bring a logo in, let's say my thing has a logo, I can bring that in by using File Place, just like you say File Place, and let's say on my desktop I have a nice sort of either Illustrator or graphics. They all work. I'm going to say Illustrator here, and here is my little logo. There we go. So maybe I put this over here, maybe I put that over there. Oops, no. Put this over there, put this over here, and then this, kind of line that up. And then as far as that is concerned, you know, this will be at the top of every one of my pages now, okay, because it's in the master. Oh, I didn't double click on the master. It wasn't in the master. It's on the first page. Hold on. You need to double click. Let me cut this out of here. You need to double click on the master. Double click right here, master, and then paste your graphics. There we go. So now it'll be on every page. So my proposal will have this design at the top of every page. In addition, you might want to have page numbering, right? Because every time you make a new page, you want to have a number at the bottom. And then you might want to have some copyright information, so you can actually have information on pages that are on every page. To do the page numbering, I need to remember how to add the page numbering. I've done it a million times, I just can't remember how. Here's the symbols for the copyright symbol right there. Okay, yeah, I'm close. And then here it is, markers, next page numbering, previous page, current page number, hyphen, quotations, other. Okay. I'm going to put a little text along my footer at the bottom down here. I'll put a page number down here. It's good to have a page number on your page. And then I believe it's under type, insert special character, current page number. Okay, and then let's put a copyright over here. Again, I'm going to put in under special characters, symbols, copyright symbol, and then my name, and then the year. Okay, I know it's almost 2017. So again, I put a page number in. The page number was under, what was I under? Type, special character, make markers, current page number in one box, and then special character for the copyright symbol and my name. So that's it. So those are the things I would have on each page, right? I want the page number at the bottom, my name with the copyright, because you want to copyright your work. It's your work. Okay? And then this is at the top. So I'm going to go to the first page by double-clicking on it. Here's page 1. Notice how when I went to page 1, it puts a 1 down there because it's the first page. Here's my stuff. Proposal at the top of the page. So my title page would be, I'm going to put some text in the middle of the screen. So I'm just putting some text in here for my title. Give yourself a nice title that you want. And, choose the font you want. Ooh, there we go. Beautiful. No. There we go. American typewriter. There you go. And then just like any other document, you have the ability to change your type ideas. Whoosh. It doesn't fit. There we go. Okay. I have my title for my proposal. My next page, I will make an overview. So I'm going to type in some text. Let's say, we'll call it project overview. And we will keep this the same throughout. I will give myself a nice text box. Again, all I'm using is the text tool to give myself text box. And then, of course, I would type in my project overview. Since I don't have a lot of things written about my project, I'll just steal from Wikipedia. So let's say this is my proposal here. I'm sure you have already typed up your ideas, hopefully. If you want to show a graphic and have that graphic be wrapped around, text wrapping around. So let's say that I want to show in my project overview an example of what one of my screens would look like, right? An example of what one of my screens would look like. I could use this tool right here, which is called the rectangle frame tool right here, rectangle frame tool. You can use that to build an image or a box that you can wrap text around and then put an image in there. Or you can just place. I think you can also just go under File, Place. I don't think you need to use the Frame tool. And I think we already have Summer Design, right? Ooh, don't do that. Yes, don't do that. Don't have that selected first. There we go. Don't have your text selected. You try to replace that. How about File, Place, and Winter Design. There we go. And then I can select both my text and my object, both of those, and go underneath type. Oh no, it's under layout. There is a word wrapping. I gotta remember where it's at. Yes. I'm looking for the word wrapping. I know it's here. I just need to find it. Word wrapping. Word wrapping. It'll come to me. I'll remember. I think it's a pop-up window, actually. Here it is, text wrap. It is a pop-up menu. It's a pop-up menu inside of InDesign, and then you can choose the word wrap right here, and then you can add space to the edges. There we go. So, and then if you see this little plus right here, it means there's more text than it can fit in the box. Of course, you could just make the box bigger because I have space. There we go. So you can have a nice project overview. Okay. Next, I could go to page 2. Or page 3, I'm sorry. That was page 2, page 3. Oh, I'm going to copy some things from page 2 first, like the text that's up here. I'm going to copy this and this. I'm going to take both these boxes by using Command C to copy this and go to page 3 and say Edit, Paste, and Place so that they paste it directly in the same spot. And then this is going to be my research. And then I've done some research. We could take screen grabs. Let's go and steal some screen grabs. I know I did some already, but I don't remember where they're at. I'm just going to go and do them real quick here. If I can get Google to work. The wireless doesn't work in this room. Again, I'm going to have to probably go to my phone. My phone is on. There we go. Hold on. I have to go through my phone because the Wi-Fi doesn't work in this room. No. Nothing works. Let me pause. Again, this is overview, or research, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to make a box to paste my picture in. Let me go and steal again, copy. Now, of course, you would just place if you had it already. Here it is. So you can just place your images in. Uh-oh. I scaled it wrong. When you scale, it depends on how you're scaling. I think it's this one. No. Okay, this is killing me here. It thinks I want to scale the frame. I want to scale the entire image. And I think I need to use, if I just do that, that's not going to work. I need to scale the frame.
It's under, okay, it's under, okay, go to the scissors, go down one.
That one, yeah, thank you. Free transform. Thank you.
Oh, I got free transform, rotate, scale, and shear. Oh, that's the old version.
Yeah. Okay, so then you can have your research. I'm going to duplicate that and then find another one. And that was under here. Okay, so you can write about your research ideas and what you've discovered and put in there. So then I could go to my next page, which might be a persona page, or what else? What would be next? Your drawings, sketches. Again, I can copy the text and then paste it into a new page. And then this could be ideas and sketches, and then write about your sketches. And then again placing your sketches in there. Okay, that didn't work. Maybe Google will work now. No? Yahoo work? So you could take your sketches. This is a foot one. Hey, look at that one. Oh, here's a weather one. No, that's not a weather. That's a time one. Whatever. You can take your sketches and put them in there. Write about the stuff, though. You should write about ideas. Don't just put the graphic in there. You should have some comments about what am I looking at, right? Think of if somebody is reading this without you being there. You should write in your proposal the way that somebody is looking at this and you're not right there next to them. What am I looking at with these sketches? What are they telling me? The flow that the user would go? The layout? Even maybe some basically you're telling us your concept idea. So you get the picture. I can show you how to make a PDF now. So basically, it's not a very hard program. You see, I'm just putting things in, but your layout is really nice and it's easy. The quality of the images are going to be better than you can get in Microsoft Word. You can quickly, easily put things in. I've already made multiple videos of how to use InDesign to make a proposal. I can link them up to Canvas. I will link, so we recorded this one. I have another one that I've made last year. Okay, and the year before that I made one too. Same thing. I could link them all up. So let's say you're done, you've made your proposal. I would go under save my InDesign file. This is my weather app proposal, whatever. And save InDesign. You always save the original. Then, of course, if I'm going to share this with somebody, I'm going to share it as a PDF, not an InDesign file. To make a PDF in InDesign, you go under File, Adobe PDF Presets, and I'm going to go to the high quality print one. When you choose high quality print one, it'll come up and say, hey, do you want to save a PDF? I'm going to say, yeah, I want to save a PDF. It's going to come up with all these options. Okay, there's a lot of options in saving a PDF. Of course, you can choose which pages you want. You don't have to do all of them, or you could say all of them. How do you want the pages to be out? A spread or pages? Kind of, the spread would be more side to side, I believe, and the pages is one after the other. Do you want to open in full screen mode? That'll force it when the person opens up the PDF to be full screen on whatever computer they're using. The downfall of that, though, is some people don't like that. It's almost like it's taking over your computer, so it's kind of scary. I try to avoid that. You can embed page thumbnails. It's where you get a little thumbnails next to the PDF so that the people can jump to the page quickly. Right? Optimize for fast web viewing means it'll make small versions that will download quickly. But there's also, and what I mean by that is it's different ways of compressing the graphics that are embedded into it. You can view it after you're done exporting. If you have problems making it small enough to email to somebody, you can compress the images smaller. Sometimes your email limit is 20 megabytes to email something, right? So say you're trying to email to somebody and it's more than 20 megabytes, you can come here and downsample your images so that you can reduce the DPI of the images under compression. I'm not going to do that here, but you could. If you're having problems getting a file size small, and this often happens, I see people that want to email their proposal to somebody and it's not small enough to email, so you have to go in here and reduce the compression. So you would reduce this to a lower number, 150 instead of 300. Bleeds and marks I'm going to leave off, but you could put these along the edges if you were outputting it somewhere. Color, I'm not going to do color conversion, but you might want to convert all the images to a specific color coding if you want, if you know what you're doing. This is mostly for printing. Depends on what kind of press you're going to. And then there's advanced. I'm not really sure what all that is. Security, you can put a password so that only people with a password can see it. And it gives you a summary at the end. So when you're all done, you hit export. And it'll go and make a proposal. Here's my weather app proposal. We've got the Raskoff weather app proposal. Again, here's page 2, page 3, page 4, and that's all the pages I did. Again, page numbering at the bottom, my copyright information, my writing information. So this will make a nice proposal that you could present to somebody. Again, very easily done in a program like InDesign. You guys have InDesign in your suite, right? Okay. So let me save this.